Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone Director Service Eric Tilson Show, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Huskies. As always, I'm here with Huskies head coach Eric Tilson. Coach, how you doing this Monday evening?
It's homecoming.
It is. It's homecoming week. You got Cloudland coming in to the Tundra on Friday night. Big regional matchup, too. I'm sure you're excited about that. We'll talk about that a little bit in the second half, too. But it's always a fun week. You get to dress out a little bit. Do you dress out as a teacher?
Absolutely not.
Do you?
Absolutely not. They try to convince me. We stopped at Buc-ee's on the way back. They try to convince me to buy one of those Buc-ee onesies. Like, nope. Not doing it. Plus, my wife would be pretty upset about it. So,
did any players buy a Buc-ee onesie?
About 8 of them.
8 of them? I mean, I figured at least 2 or 3 had to.
Oh, no, it was like 8 of them. They were even taking pictures. People coming up to them. They got a little Buc-ee's crew. So,
was the Buc-ee's mascot walking around?
Well, we were the Buc-ee's mascot. So.
Okay, they put them on while they were there?
Yes, while they were there.
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either. They were walking around in them, so.
At least they had fun, though.
They did.
They had fun on the ride back after traveling up to Kentucky. Another long road trip for the Huskies. We had talked about that. You're no stranger to traveling on long road trips.
Unfortunately.
Seems like you've made a lot of them this year and last year with Red Boiling Springs included. You made a 2-hour trip up to Williamsburg, played the Yellow Jackets. Didn't go the way you wanted to. They were able to come out on top 54-7. Very talented quarterback that you went up against. Talk about that game and talk about some of the things that you were happy with at the end.
I'm going to channel my inner Dion, and that was just a good old-fashioned butt whooping. We didn't really have an answer for anything they did. They walked out in warm-ups, and we kind of knew what we were going up against.
That was a very talented quarterback. We even talked about it afterwards, and you came over there and whispered it to me on the sideline. That's probably one of the best quarterbacks you've seen since you've been at North Greene.
Yeah, see, he was talented. There's multiple times we had him dead to rights in the backfield, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, next play, he is 5 yards behind the play, just making somebody look stupid. He's definitely a talented kid with his feet, and he threw the ball pretty well, so we had to honor that. Well, at the same time, he could scramble at any point, and we just didn't have an answer for it.
And I know you had some personnel changes throughout the lineup too. Yeshua Vaught missed the game, and you had to change some things around on offense and defense because he's such a crucial part to your lineup. Talk about some of those changes. Were you pleased with some of those positional changes that you saw?
Yeah, we were pleased with some people moving in positions. I wouldn't necessarily say they were varsity ready yet, but they did come in and give us some good minutes, which is good for the future of this season. So now as we start moving forward, we're able, as we start getting some of these kids back in crucial games, then that does give us some bright spots moving forward because it wasn't like they played a JV game. Mm-hmm. It was like JV kids getting good varsity minutes and playing pretty well for the most part. We just didn't have the horses to really keep up with them. I mean, it was there for a while. It was 6-0 through most of the first quarter. I don't say there's like 2 minutes left. It's still 6-0. Defense playing pretty well, but eventually, because we had to play so many players both ways, and more so than we've ever done, it eventually started catching up. Then they hit us on a couple big ones, and then they start rolling from there.
You knew establishing the run game was going to be a little more difficult than usual without Yeshua, and then starting Leon, who I don't think had much varsity experience before, but you were able to get the passing game going a little bit. Thomas was able to complete a few big passes to Jake Duffy and Grayson Collins downfield. They played great when they needed to step up and get you first downs, and Grayson was one that really impressed on Friday night.
Thomas just keeps getting better every week. He was 10 of 14, threw a touchdown, didn't put the ball on the ground, or no interceptions this week. So that's a big bright spot, and that's something that's going to keep us competitive moving forward. And that's the thing is people watching us is, yeah, that score was pretty bad, but I would contend to say that team contends for state titles in Tennessee. They were good, and we knew they were going in. We're just happy to get a 10th game because there wasn't much anybody else available to play at that point. So we're just happy we got that 10th game in, and I do think with a full roster, us healthy and rolling, it's a competitive game. I don't know if it changes the outcome of the game, but we're definitely more competitive, and we can, especially I mean, we were decimated up front. We're decimated in the backfield, but it was good to see the passing game really open up and Darnell make some really good decisions and Grayson get the ball down, Jake get the ball, and then Brandon Weems at the end taking a screen to the house, which is now it's like, okay, let's roll now. Let's see what you got.
I have to say, once again, I messed up. I tweeted the touchdown. I said Braden Weems. It was Brandon. I made sure to get Brandon in the article, though, because you mentioned it after the game, but at that point, it was really too late to go change the tweet. One of these games, I'll cover a full North Greene game, and I will get everything right, whether it be who threw to who, somebody's name spelled correctly, or who caught the touchdown pass. But one thing you had to be pleased about on Friday night was cleaning up the turnovers. That was something you talked about recently that had plagued you recently. And you cleaned that up really well on Friday night.
That was big. So now we just got to go creating turnovers now, and that's going to be big this week with a clock control offense. It's going to run it right down our throats. So it's they're going to aim to go right down the middle. So we need to have an answer, and our big boys need to be coming ready to play. Which fortunately last year our JV group wore Cloudland out, and it's a lot of the same guys that are playing in varsity this year, so hoping to really take some of that confidence so we know we can compete with them in the box and then use our athleticism to spread them out and be able to run past them. So it's good to see that stuff from last week be able to carry over some to this week because fortunately I don't think we're going to see that speed on the field until we get about 2 or 3 deep in the playoffs. So that was hats off to Williamsburg. I mean, they're well coached and they're a really good football team.
They were a good football team. Impressed by the quarterback. Impressed by everything up there. Got a big game coming up. A big game with regional implications. It's a fun week for everybody with it being homecoming. We'll go ahead and preview that right after the break. We've got to skip into a commercial break real quick, so we'll be right back in just a minute here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts? The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone's Record Service Eric Tilson Show, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Husky football team. As always, I'm joined here with Huskies head coach Eric Tilson. So you got another regional matchup coming this week, one of the games that matter more. A game that I know you're probably looking forward to more because it's a team that has been the perennial number 1 team in your region the last few years.
Like last 10 years.
Correct. Talk about your expectations and your anticipation going into Friday night's matchup.
Cloudland, they're the top dogs until they're not. They've earned that right. They haven't lost a region game in over 10 years. And the last region loss was when Hampton was in the region.
Okay.
So they've earned the right to be the top dog until they get knocked off, and our goals go in and go knock them off. This is a very highly anticipated game. We're going to be back at full strength, and we're going to be rocking and ready to go.
How big of a win would that be for North Greene's culture to be able to snap that win streak?
I'd be hard pressed to say it'd be one of the biggest wins in school history to beat a team like that. It's happened before, but it'd be up there in terms of setting this program up for what our goals are towards the end of the year. We got 3 more conference games. Our goal is still to host a playoff game, and it's within our sights. These non-conference games, they matter, but they're not as important as these coming up, and we got a pretty important slate here of games we can go in and go win.
You've got the home field advantage already with them traveling down the mountain to come here. What are you going to have to do in the first few moments of the game to really control that and punch them in the mouth?
We're going to have to create turnovers on defense if they get the ball out first. We're going to have to understand that they're going to get their 3 to 4 yards, and we just have to be patient. Everybody do their job, and then when we get a chance to punch the ball out, punch the ball out. And then they're going to have to be patient. If they're patient enough to keep driving down the field, then they can get within striking distance. We just got to keep trying to punch the ball out. But most teams, they're not as patient, and they'll try to throw one out there. Then we can take advantage of that with our speed. And then offensively, we got to set the tone early and move the ball, get first downs, and then score when we get the opportunity to score. We're really going to have to play on our side of the field. That's going to be pretty big for us. So utilizing special teams, trying to create some blocks on punt, try to create some opportunities in other areas of special teams. And we think we can throw the ball around a little bit this week.
We've sort of mentioned it twice already, but you already know what to expect on offense. They're going to run the ball, they're going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
Yes.
They're not really a pass-heavy team. They're kind of like Cumberland Gap. They like to run it, and they like to run it down your throat until you can stop it. What are some of the things that you're going to have to do on defense to be able to halt that success that they have?
Be ready for a physical week. So our guys up front have to control the line of scrimmage, and we got some guys that can do that. Then everybody's going to have to, the guys that are supposed to set the edge. The guys are supposed to be spill players, which means they need to be inside out, play inside out on it, and everybody play leverage football. And our big asset we have back in the back is Jake Duffy, and he's I expect him to have a real big night, being able to flow. He's behind everybody, and he can make tackles from that safety position from anywhere. So if everybody does their job and Jake's the tackler, then we're setting up a pretty good position.
How do you expect their defense to scout your offense?
They're primarily a lot of man coverage. They try to plug as many gaps as possible, which is why I've been so pleased with our pass game, because now that opens up some opportunities there where we don't have to so heavily rely on the run game. So we're still going to establish the run and try to take advantage of some of the adjustments they'll make, and then once things start opening up on the back end, we'll start throwing the ball down the field. We
kind of talked about it a little bit in the break, and we talked about how big of a monumental win this would be, not only towards North Greene's program, but towards the regional standings. Talk about the regional standings, what lies ahead. We know that on your schedule you have Cloudland, Unaka, and Cosby in that order left to play. Jellicoe and Cloudland are tied for the top spot in the region right now.
They haven't played each other yet.
Yes, so talk about some of those implications that could lie ahead and how important this win could be.
Well, it starts off, we have to take care of our business. So we take care of our business. That puts us in a pretty good spot to be up in the top of the conference. Because in reality, our conference is still pretty early in the season.
Yes.
In terms of conference play. We still got 3 left. Most teams still have 3 left. So we got to take care of business this Friday, and then just let the chips fall where they may. Cloudland goes and beats Jellicoe, then that puts us in a tie, and then we got to take care of business Unaka, then finish off the year down at Cosby, and then just let the chips fall where they may. And we could be in a conference tied for the conference lead. We could be in second, which would put us in contention to be able to host a playoff game.
Your favorite question each week: what are the 3 keys to success you need to carry out in order to get a win?
Number 1 is physicality. We got to be physical this week.
That's for
and
sure.
Then,
this week.
Great tackling, and the playmakers got to make plays.
Okay, last one. You're on record with this, okay?
Okay.
If you beat Cloudland, the first time they've lost a regional game in over 10 years, would you wear a Buc-ee's onesie to practice one day?
Oh, I'll do whatever is necessary. Right, put it on record. We beat Cloudland. I will wear a Buc-ee's onesie.
All right.
Right there.
You've heard it here first. If the Huskies beat Cloudland, you'll see Coach Tilson in a onesie.
I'll wear it on this show. Right.
Awesome. Will you wear it to school a full day too?
I'll wear it to school a full day.
That's awesome. Right. All right, Coach. That's all I've got for this week. Good luck against Cloudland on Friday night. It's homecoming. Homecoming festivities will be prior to kickoff.
Yes.
Kickoff still set at 7:30.
7:30, 7:15 homecoming.
All right. Sounds good. If you're a Huskies fan or a Huskies supporter, come out and support the Huskies on Friday night against Cloudland. It's a big, important regional matchup. But until next time, thank you for watching this week's edition of the Malone Director Service Eric Tilson Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.